Hi, Winnie Anderson, justbe.me. So this is kind of like a follow-on of the video that I've just done about influenza. So this part is about the laryngitis and pharyngitis part of the influenza that's doing its rounds at the moment, and the trainings of thoughts that are in connection with the throat. And the hoarseness, and this is also known as croup. So this is very common for children under 5 to experience, and it's also involves the appendix as well. So there's anything that is involving the appendix there's a little bit of anger in that I'm not being allowed to make my own decisions. So that's when kind of like appendix come up. It's almost kind of like you're living your life through somebody else, not through your own heart space or ideals. So it has a little bit something to do with that as well. So laryngitis or hoarseness or croup is fear of expressing myself in fear of being ridiculed. So it's interesting that this could potentially be quite big at the moment as well, because obviously this is October 2021. I'm in the UK, but I'm in Yorkshire. I know in Wales, in the UK, I think the V passports have come in. I know one lady went to a flower shop and she wanted to buy some roses, and the shop owner turned her away and says, well, if you haven't been V'd, I'm not selling you anything. So this level of discrimination is going to be quite difficult for some people, because they've never had to express a protection against being discriminated against. But you know what? It's good that discrimination is becoming big in society, that we are actually now finally seeing it, that it's not just particularly minority groups that are experiencing it. You know, it's kind of like it's getting bigger. You can't avoid it. So the level of discrimination at the moment throughout the world is plain to see. So fear of expressing myself and fear of being ridiculed. So again, this will be a subconscious belief that you may not even be aware of, but your body is aware of. So if you're getting the kind of like the hoarseness and the sore throat, then you will be clearing an old belief that potentially is being carried by your ancestors. So this tends to come up when you kinesiology fourth, fifth generation ancestors. But we tend to carry these beliefs within our DNA. So if you then choose to no longer hold the fear of ridicule, then this clears out that belief system from your DNA. Hence, you will not kind of need to develop laryngitis. So really, really interesting. I can't express my opinions. I submit to an authority. I feel stifled. I remain silent, powerless, and I'm feeling guilt and shame because I am remaining silent and powerless. I must learn to say things and express my feelings. So whatever your heart is feeling right now, whether it's anger towards another person, whether it's guilt, shame, fear even, you know, whatever it is that you may be feeling right now, it's kind of really being honest with yourself, really coming back to your intrinsic self and saying how you feel and really expressing how you feel. I feel annoyed, I feel sad, I feel abandoned by you, I feel, you know, whatever it is that you are feeling, just say it. You know, you are loved regardless of how you are feeling. You are not your feelings, you are not your emotions, you are not your limiting beliefs. You are none of these things. These are just energies that kind of like pass through within us. So don't judge yourself for how you may be feeling. Don't judge yourself for how you may be behaving, because they are not you. They are just experiences that you are having and just holding at the moment. And it's up to you how long you hold on to them for. It's up to you how long you choose to experience them for. So I accept right now, I allow my heart to speak. So this is one way of clearing the laryngitis. So anything that is ending in itis around the body, it's holding anger in it. So you've got an angry throat, and you've got an angry throat because you're not expressing what you're feeling, you're not expressing what your heart desires. And it may be feeling kind of like, so if it's coming in on the influenza as well, you may be feeling like, I don't want to look after you right now. I want you to look after me. You know, how many of us could be that truthful with our spouses or somebody else, or, you know, it could be our daughter or our son, you know, and they may be, I don't know, younger or whatever, and as a mum you kind of like think, well, I can't possibly say that to, you know, to a child, you know, please can you look after me. I couldn't possibly say that because of, you know, society would deem me as a bad parent. But however, you may be feeling that powerless, that drained, that unenergetic, that you just think, oh, if somebody could just make me a cup of tea, that would be absolutely marvellous. Express your inner truth, express what your heart desires, and it may be somebody that's come over to see you, but you're just kind of like, you cannot be bothered seeing anyone, you cannot be bothered speaking, you cannot be bothered talking, and you just want to kind of like say to this person, will you just do one, because I just cannot be bothered speaking. And it's literally, but you know, you wouldn't want them to think, oh God, look at her, bad person, for telling them, you know, get out, I can't be bothered with you. But literally that is what your heart is saying. And it's really expressing yourself in a true, genuine way. And if you are feeling this hoarseness and restriction around the throat and nothing is coming out, it's because you want to express yourself and you're not. You're too fearful of the backlash of what you may receive if you say what you really feel. And we will have learned, when you kinesiology, a timeline of when did I learn not to speak my truth. It literally will be before the age of 5 you will have learnt this program not to speak your truth. So my heart comes off to every single person that is able to vocalise what they are really feeling and what is going on in their heart, because you are shining lights for the rest of us. You know, sending big love to you. Pharynx. So if your pharynx is coming out as well, so this is seated just below the larynx, and you may feel kind of like a tickly cough, or it'll feel like an elephant sitting on your chest. You'll just feel this heaviness kind of like around your heart space. So if your pharynx is out and angry as well, I evaluate my priorities. So your priority right now, if it's coming in with the flu as well, is literally to get yourself well, to look after you only, to not put responsibilities of others on yourself, because you will just literally have the energy just to look after you and nobody else. It's okay to vocalise that. You know, we all had the flu and the laryngitis with it, and you know, my beautiful parents dropped off a bag of shopping. I was grateful, but they both started kind of like to wander in, and you know, and wanted to sit down and have a conversation. It's kind of like, no, I'm sorry, I can't be bothered speaking to anyone right now. I'm really, really grateful for the shopping, but I can't be bothered speaking. Please, can you please leave? And not only that, you know, kind of like, you know, you don't want them catching anything that you've got either. And they're like, well, we've been vaccinated, we're okay. And it's kind of like, no. You know, your vaccine is protecting you from severe kind of like dying from something. It's not protecting you from actually receiving it. So, you know, again, kind of like be mindful of that, even though, you know, if you have had kind of like the vaccinations, that, you know, you are you can still catch things, you can still be ill from things, but you know, gratefully you know, you may not be it may not be a mortal kind of danger from it, which is really, really good. So so that's the throat. So if you are feeling hoarse and you have got the influenza at the moment, and you've got the laryngitis, you've got a lot of anger in your throat, you may be kind of like getting really angry with people as well. That is your truth. That's what your heart is saying. Get angry. You know what? It's however somebody else responds to your words is their responsibility. It's not yours. How you respond to somebody else's words is your responsibility. We are all responsible for our own reactions. We are not responsible for how other people react to things. So this is what the higher self wants you to learn. This is the whole reason of laryngitis and pharyngitis. And you will have learnt this program to be stum from definitely before the age of 5. So pharyngitis and laryngitis at the moment is a beautiful symptoms and illness at the moment to clear these belief systems that you've learnt from an early age. So I will leave my love with you. Re-examine your priorities if your throat is coming up. Look after you genuinely, instinctively. What anyone else does is their business. If you have responsibilities for other people, like you are a carer or a parent, then ask for help. Because as well, you know, that you will have learned not to ask for help as well, because you may have been ridiculed in asking for help in the past as well. Please ask for help if you need it and require it. You don't, you know, if somebody is coming to help, then just say, you know, I can't have a conversation with you because I'm just too exhausted. But please, will you help me just look after my, you know, significant other? So please ask for help. You're not a weak person for asking for help. No man is an island. Everyone needs a helping hand at some point. Everyone needs a friend. That's what friends are for. That's what family are for. Give them the opportunity at least to say no. But please ask, and please give them the opportunity of giving you a truthful response. But please do not fear the response that you will get. You are all loved, so I'm sure somebody will chip in and stand up for you. So I will leave this one with you. Love to you all. Take care. And speak your truth. Speak from the heart. Ask for help. Love you all. Take care. Bye-bye.